When you've been through hell, leave sparks of fire wherever you go. Welcome to the InspireFIre Podcast with author Winslow E. Dixon.
Hello and welcome to the InspireFIre Podcast with author Winslow E. Dixon. Today we're going to be discussing how to do the impossible. And I know that probably sounds like a strange topic for a podcast, but let me explain what I mean by that. Sometimes in life we are faced against impossible odds. Things can happen that can make us feel like we can't accomplish what we want to do. There can be things that happen in our lives, whether it's loss or disease or grief or abandonment or financial situations or anything like that, that can render us to be what we think is impossible, that can render us to feel hopeless and weak and helpless. But today we're going to discuss about how we can go through these things and still come out victorious. So once again, welcome to the InspireFIre Podcast. I'm author Winslow E. Dixon, and today we're going to be discussing a few things just to try to help you accomplish the impossible things in your life. To make a long story short, I feel like in my life I have been faced with some impossible odds. And not to get into a whole lot of personal details, but I can just give you a little bit of background so you can understand that I understand where you're coming from. At 23 years old, I had a severe adrenal crisis and was later diagnosed with adrenal insufficiency. This disease renders me very fatigued. I have a lot of chronic pain, and it has pretty much taken a lot of my quality of life away. I already had health issues prior to the adrenal insufficiency, such as endometriosis, and I had a hysterectomy in November of last year. Going through all that, I also have a kidney disease where I have chronic kidney stones, renal spasms, and infections. So my health was kind of an obnoxious factor into my life. Like I said, long story short, I was planning to be a medical professional. I wanted to be a physician's assistant, and I wanted to be in geriatrics. I worked in Alzheimer's and dementia for a number of years, and that was just the goal for my life. And upon my adrenal crisis and some damage that happened to me, I was then rendered unable to work, continue school, and it really derailed my life. Ended up having to move states due to financial reasons, and I just thought my life was over. And I thought I had gone through everything that you could possibly go through as a human. Fast forward a few years, the person that I was with totally, completely abandoned me after 5 years. And I was then forced to have to face all the scary stuff without the partner that I had intended on having my entire life. So I can honestly say that I know what it's like to feel like you're at impossible odds. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is how we overcome the impossible. Now, the first step to overcoming the impossible is your mindset. And I know that, especially when you have chronic illness or things like that, that mind over matter can get you in trouble. So I'm not saying that you can overcome all physical challenges with a mindset. I am absolutely not saying that. As someone who has debilitating chronic issues, chronic pain, disease, I understand that we all do have physical limitations. But when I say mindset, what I mean is that how we handle those physical limitations, how we handle those things in our lives is dependent on our mindset. And I think when we have the attitudes of dread and anger and when we're so far into our own grief that we tend to make the physical symptoms even worse. I know with me that I tend to self-sabotage when I get overwhelmed. When you get overwhelmed, your body reacts. Stress is a poor component with anybody, healthy, sick alike. And so we have to really condition our mindset that even though things might be bad, we can't focus on the totally debilitating things. And like I said, I'm right there with you when I understand that there are some things that you can't ignore. But when you face them with a battle strategy, with the mentality that this thing, no matter how hard it is, how difficult it is not going to defeat me. It puts you in a mindset that you are no longer the victim, but you are going to be the victor over what is happening to you. And that's where your power truly lies. And something that helps with these mindsets are mantras. And I know that sounds crazy, and, I'm not saying be like the monks or, whatever. But when you have mantras that you continuously repeat to yourself, your brain begins to understand these patterns that you're doing. You're continuously telling yourself, telling your body, telling your spirit, telling your soul what it needs to do. For example, a mantra that I have that I repeat to myself daily is stay focused, stay alive, stay focused, stay alive. You have to stay focused on what you want to do. You have to stay focused on the people around you that are cheering you on, that are supporting you, that are there for you. You have to stay alive and stay focused on those things. And sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes there are days that, you do struggle with those depressive thoughts. You do struggle with wanting to be here. You do struggle with the thoughts of, this is so difficult. I have this impossible life, all these impossible circumstances. How can I do this? And it's easy to let those thoughts drown you and overwhelm you. But I'm here to tell you that these mantras, when you begin to combat the negativity with these powerful statements, you not only empower yourself, but you give your brain and your body and your soul the tools it needs to continuously fight. Pick a mantra that speaks to you. Mine is stay focused, stay alive. Because when we focus on what's wrong, we lose sight of what's right. So let me just encourage you to find a mantra that matches the mindset that you want to have. Another thing that we can do when we're trying to do the impossible is patience. And I know that old saying is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I kind of agree with that, and I kind of don't. I think when you go through a lot of things, PTSD can set in, and you can begin to get depressive and have those things. And so I know that when you go through a lot of things, it's not necessarily so easy as, it didn't kill me, it made me stronger. There are some things that do weaken you. And it's okay to admit that, and it's okay to understand that there are processes to things. For example, with me, I have suffered a lot of damage, both neurologically and physically, because of my adrenal crisis. After my adrenal crisis, I was rendered unable to put pants on. I couldn't hold a spoon. I couldn't walk. And so I have gone through extensive physical therapy to be able to do these things again. I, to this day, hate physical therapy. It is very uncomfortable. It is painful. It is not fun. But I recognize that if I'm going to do anything in my life again, I have to continuously fight. And as much as I hate physical therapy, I would hate wasting away on my couch even more. And I'm not saying, push your body past its limits, because don't do that either. But I'm saying that you have to have patience and understand that everything is a process. And there is no point A, point B in life. Everything takes time. Everything takes effort. And you can't have the mindset of instant, easy peasy. When you understand that you have to not only give the circumstances patience, but also yourself. There are going to be some days that you're not going to be able to be 100%, and that's okay. No human being is 100% at all times, whether you're sick, healthy, alike. No human being is at 100%. It's like that old saying, roses don't bloom all year long. You're not going to be at 100% of your days. And you have to give yourself patience on those days where you are having to rest. Patience is part of the process, so be gentle with yourself. And another part of this mindset concept is letting go. There are going to be some things in your life that you're going to have to let go. And they're going to be the things that you held on to the hardest. Maybe some people, maybe some dreams, maybe what you looked like before all this happened. I don't know your personal situation. I know with me, I'm having to let go of who I thought I would be. I'm not going to run a nursing home anymore in my life. I'm not going to be with who I thought I would be with. I'm not in the state, in the place that I thought I would live. My life looks nothing like I thought it would. And I have to let go of those past dreams and let go of that life that I thought I would have. But you know what? There's beauty in that, because when you have nothing left to lose, you have everything left to gain. You owe yourself the chance to go find a life that's even better than what you could have ever imagined. There are going to be people that you meet and experiences that you have that are going to exceed your farthest imaginations. And so you have to hold on to those things. Hold on to the fact that the future can be anything. The future is open. It's not written. No one's future is written. And I know it's difficult to let go of that life that you thought you would have. Trust me, I've been there. But when you constantly go there in your mind, you lose sight of what the future could be. And so let me just encourage you that part of this journey and part of this process of doing the impossible is learning to live in today, is learning to live in the moment. It's learning to appreciate what you have around you now. Because you never know what life is going to hold. You never know. And so these moments and these days, yeah, there might be difficult times and there might be things that you have to do that you don't want to do. But you are building your life. Every day is a building block to your future. And so you owe it to yourself to have an open heart and an open mind. So let me just encourage you that you might feel like you're doing the impossible, but keep doing it, because the only failure is really when you stop trying. There is really no such thing as failure if you continuously try. And all you can do is your best, and that is enough. Your best is enough, and I can't stress that anymore because it's the truth. Like I said, no one is 100% of the time. On your bad days, you're fighting. On your good days, you're still fighting. But you know what? Every single day you're winning. You can be a victor instead of a victim to your circumstances. Is it difficult? Absolutely. I would not have chosen this life. But you know what? This is my life, and I will make the best of it. And I know that you can too. So go ahead and believe in yourself. Pick a mantra that gets you through the day. Pick a battle strategy. Be patient with yourself. Learn to let go and believe that the future is bright. So this has been the InspireFIre Podcast with author Winslow E. Dixon, and I thank you for listening.
For more information, you can visit my website at winslowedixon.wordpress.com or townsendseries.com. Thank you again for listening.